It's a well-known fact of life that nobody likes the French. Britain hates the French because all of the conflicts and scuffles they had trying to establish who was the dominant colonial power in the 1700s. America hates the French due to former French President Jacques Chirac refusing to back America during the Iraq War in 2003. Yeah, you remember when America tried to change French fries into freedom fries? You now have a legitimate answer as to why that whole thing even happened and why Americans went buck wild over some fried potato pieces. And it's got nothing to do with their waistlines, surprisingly. Everyone knows that the entire region of Oceania, including the prison colony Australia and the Hobbit Hole New Zealand, hate the French due to French conducting nuclear testing in the Pacific from the 60s all the way into the 90s. And everyone knows Canada has to officially apologize on Canada Day for the existence of Quebec. But perhaps there's one country that hates the French more than anyone else on Earth. And it's a bit of a surprising answer. It's a country that's so disgusted by the capital of France that they have coined a term for being disappointed with it all the way back in the 1980s. And they've even written books on just how much of a letdown it is to be on the land where the Eiffel Tower resides. That country is Japan. And that term is Paris syndrome. Perish Song is a non-damaging normal type move introduced in Generation 2. All Pokemon on the field when Perish Song is used gain a Perish count, except Pokemon with the ability Soundproof and Pokemon that already have a Perish count. When a Pokemon's Perish count reaches 0, it faints. Since Perish Song causes a Pokemon to faint without Oh, god damn it. Paris syndrome is a form of severe culture shock that comes from seeing Paris idolized in pop culture as this wonderland of fashion, fine foods, and fantastical sophistication. And then when you finally get there, you realize it's okay. It's kind of a shithole, really. Meaning that I once again have to remind everyone, turning everything into an anime is only a bad thing. This realization can be so devastating to would-be travelers that it can cause delusions, hallucinations, extreme anxiety, aggression, and perhaps worst of all, the awareness that you are currently, right now, in France. This problem particularly impacts Japanese tourists because of the stark differences between Paris and the metropolises of Japan. Sure, you have the expected differences of differing languages, foods, and cultures, but the city itself seems to play the main role. Japanese cities, especially compared to a large percentage of the rest of the world, are on the whole clean, low in crime, accommodating, and feature a culture of high customer respect in the service and food industries. Meanwhile, Paris, despite its depictions in pop culture as a chic, lavish playhouse, is actually decently crime and trash-ridden, confusingly designed, and the locals tend to not give a shit where you're from or why you're there. And this isn't me just being a huge weeb and claiming Japan is the king of everything like the internet loves to do. It's a documented phenomenon. It's older than anyone watching this video because this website is for stupid fucking children. Japanese psychiatrist Hiroaki Ota first invented the term in the 1980s, and he published a book on it way back in 1991. And the term's been popping up in Japanese news articles ever since. Even the BBC thought that this was a huge crisis in 2006, when they reported that the Japanese embassy in Paris had a 24-hour hotline for those suffering from Paris syndrome. The Japanese embassy denied this, but then again, they also denied so by all likelihood, it's probably true. Okay, so maybe France isn't that bad after all. They did invent Braille, which is what will eventually let blind people watch this video. And mayonnaise, which is the national drink of America. Maybe everywhere just sucks. And the next time you consider a vacation, you'll remember that everywhere on Earth is now basically the same thanks to globalization and the internet. And you know what? I didn't even give France proper credit for the French Revolution, which proves that the people that hate the French most of all are the French themselves. So good on you, France. You gave some foreign tourists a gritty taste of reality by shoving their stupid television-based fantasies up their sheltered asses. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to eat some French fries, which I plan to use as a side with my Italian dental floss, and wash it all down with American punch. Good night.